We're planning a trip for our 50th anniversary. We're taking this kid as a
Is he giving us a list of the appointments? Oh, you got it? Oh, okay.
I just
Can you get?
picked one up from Rachel.
Oh, okay. That's
Do you have more
okay.
copies?
I think yes.
I get one later.
Probably gonna need
If you don't want to give me
gonna
one
need some
now.
time for this anyway.
Okay, yeah.
That's the other
Oh,
one.
the new one?
Okay.
Ready for you, T.
Okay.
It being time, I now call the Appointments Committee meeting of the Gardner City Council's June 27th, 2023 meeting to order. I'd like the record to reflect that all members of the committee are present. Chair Tyros, Councilor Walsh, Councilor Mack, Mayor Nicholson, and Director Ellis are also present. Is anyone recording today's meeting? There being none.
Just I would note for the record, it's June 30th.
Did I say June 27th? Thank you, June 30th. Thank you.
Just for the record.
June 30th. Should I repeat that? No, I'm just kidding. So first item of business, reading and approval of the minutes of prior meetings, February 21st, 2023, March 6th, 2023, March 31st, 2023.
I move that we dispense with the reading of the minutes and accept them as presented.
Second.
Motion made by Councilor Walsh, second by Councilor Mack. Is there discussion? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Motion passes. Second item, appointments. Item 11022, a measure confirming the mayor's appointment of Paul Crowley to the position of Council on Aging member for term expiring June 7th. It is noted here 2023, but it will be corrected to June 7th, 2026 for our council meeting. Mayor, would you give a report?
Yeah, this is coming off of the resignation from the board of Patricia Jandris. Mr. Crowley comes at the recommendation of the Council on Aging and its director at the Senior Center, as you can see in the letter that's included in your packet this morning. He's been an active member of the community, an active member of the Senior Center, has extensive background in the community through his business experience and as an adjunct professor at Mount Wachusett Community College. It's a great perspective to have on the Council on Aging, and I'd highly recommend his appointment.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Director Ellis?
I'd just like to reiterate those aspects that the mayor's already brought up, and as we described in the letter, that I think our center has really taken a huge change in direction and are bringing more expertise to the board to do things like really work on our financials, our policies, our operations programs in and of themselves. And Paul brings a really unique perspective to the board. But beside that, clearly, as been articulated in the letter, beside that, he brings an energy and enthusiasm that we really need and want and embrace on the board. Since he's been involved at the Senior Center, he's done a number of things. None, I think, more important than his establishment of a weekly writers club to engage seniors in being more expressive and ability and bring them the skills to have the ability to write. So I'm very pleased that Paul's expressed interest, and I'm very thankful that you would consider him as an appointee to the Council on Aging.
Thank you. Mr. Crowley, would you like to make a statement?
I'm kind of excited about doing it. I've been an associate on the board for a while, and I think there's a lot of things that going forward are going to be fun to develop and create new concepts for the center, and have the board more engaged in directing the activities. So Mike does a lot on his own shoulders, and I think he needs some help, and happy to do that. I've got a good background in education, business planning, strategic planning, and strategy. So I'm taught accounting as well as public speaking. So I'm glad to bring those assets and hope that I can contribute.
Thank you, Mr. Crowley. Councilman?
No, I just want to say that your experience and your education is going to be an amazing asset to the Council on Aging, and I appreciate you willing to step forward to volunteer your time.
Thank you, Councilor Walsh.
You mentioned that you have some things in mind that you hope to bring to the board and to the group. I'm wondering, if you could give us a few of those.
Well, I recently learned that Mass General has a neurology department Zoom meeting that goes on for 8 weeks and helps people interact with other patients at Mass General and discuss things about memory and dementia and coping skills. So not only the medical staff and the people, and I could see where something like that, having memory clinics, having something that would help the the people in town gain a little bit more skill, maybe reduce a little bit of the fear about growing old and what's happening with not being able to remember what room you're in or losing your keys. The writing clinic I thought of as a concept of helping people express themselves, be more creative, and use their mental skills, not necessarily become writers, but to reach back into the brain and use those areas that might be idle or might stimulate more and perpetuate more healthy thinking.
Kind of critical thinking is expressed in writing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also memory, going back. And a lot of the people who come want to write memoirs. They want to leave something for their kids, which is great. And they don't have to walk out being Ernest Hemingway. They just have to get some encouragement to get it down.
He's already did. Yeah.
Yes, he's not working at it anymore. Hopefully we can get some more people in town involved. I learned that the President Garan's brother,
Mark Aaron, yeah.
teaches English, but he was also a journalist, and he might be somebody we can get in contact with. Mike has put me in touch with an author up in Athol who published a book, and is willing to come down and talk to us about his experience and his concepts. I also wrote a book during the pandemic on public speaking, so I've been giving that out to people since I seem to have a stack of them. And other things that are coming along, moving to the new building is going to be a challenge, and being able to fill that out. I'd like to see perhaps more on visual painting or drawing, some more of the creative arts. Mike's done a great job with the quilters and the quillers and the book clubs and the stuff that keeps the people coming in. But we need to reach out more and get more involvement and let people know that this is a place where it's not just a place for old people, it's a place where you can actually grow and be together.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you wanting to do more for the community. I always very enthused when people step up to contribute, especially to the senior center. So thank you.
I'm going to get a lot out of it too. So.
Councilors, if I can just add one last thing. In addition to Paul's appointment, this week we honored close to 150 volunteers at a volunteer recognition dinner. And I think that providing opportunities like you're providing for folks to be more active and engaged in boards and commissions, whether it's the senior center, the disability commission, or the planning board, having our seniors more involved and integrated really helps us speak to the issues our seniors are facing and growing old in the community. I applaud the city and its leadership for the things that have happened already to that end, but folks like Paul and their engagement really help us have the advocacy and the leadership from the senior community driving some of these initiatives. So I just want to say publicly again how appreciative I am. Thank you.
And I attended that luncheon. It was well attended, very appreciated by the volunteers, President Garen did a great job addressing the audience as to the need for service in community. And it doesn't matter what age you are, you can always give back something to your community. But I just want to, in final comments, say that as a person who has close relations with many senior citizens within my family, there's a fear of accepting what is called age-related memory loss, and people automatically just think, and they're just things naturally. And I think what you want to do with the seniors is very important. So
The project is getting it out so people know it's there. And right now I know we advertise through the newsletter, but most of the rest is word of mouth. And I would like to try to develop something where more concept about what we do at the senior center is more available to more people. So I don't know exactly what to do there yet, but it's in the back of my brain.
Speaking of memories of seniors, I remember when Mark Aaron was born.
Say the motion.
I move that we recommend confirmation of the appointment.
Second.
Motion made by Councilor Walsh, second by Councilor Mack to recommend the mayor's appointment. Is there discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you.
you.
We'll be
Thank you,
voting-
counselors.
Thank you.
Council will be
Thank you.
voting Monday for your
Okay.
appointment.
Good, thanks.
Next on the agenda is new business. We have a measure relative to lapsed appointments of the current status of unfilled, vacant, or expired appointments and confirmations. The chair was contacted by a member of the appointments committee to bring this up in new business, and as a matter of bringing a public discussion forward, it has been placed on the agenda. Mr. Wolf.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor, thank you, Mr. Chairman, for agreeing to put this on the agenda and doing so. And Mr. Mayor, thank you for your preparation and submission of the current listing. We've just been provided with this and haven't really had a chance to go through it. I don't know if you wanted to address what you presented
Sure.
in some summary form at the present time. So
Yeah,
that,
absolutely.
us having a further opportunity to look at it, maybe and discuss it at our next
Discuss
meeting.
that at the next meeting.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mr. Mayor.
Absolutely, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, councilors. This is a document I actually created in my previous position with the city that's been carried over into this administration. We kind of try to keep track as much as we can. One of the things I've added to this document for the edification of the council today is how much, if anything, the positions are compensated. So if you see for certain boards and commissions, let's use the license commission as an example, you'll see the chair gets a stipend of $1,000, the members get $750. I've also included if those boards and commissions are volunteer boards and commissions in which there's no pay associated with those. Also, how many members are appointed on those, their appointment confirmation process, any legal descriptions with those. So for instance, if you look at the Disability Commission, one of the reasons why they have not met recently is they don't have a quorum of members. However, that's a very legally defined membership. It has to be either an immediate family member of someone who is disabled or someone who themselves is disabled. One of the members passed away during the COVID-19 pandemic and 2 others have resigned, so we don't have a quorum on that committee. So again, it's trying to find different things like that. The License Commission is full, however, one of them has to be a Democrat, one has to be a Republican, and the other one can be of any party of their choosing, similar to the Board of Registrars. So you'll see all of these included there. I've also included just general appointments by both the mayor and the council because those are just tracked just to see where people are standing. So those are all included in here. It's not just boards, commissions, it's all appointments that come before me and the council.
If I may.
You may.
Again, I appreciate the fact that you provided this and look forward to looking at it in a more thorough fashion. But it just seemed to me that the appointments committee, as a newly existing committee, this is an appropriate topic for consideration, although the appointing authority is you. And,
No, I understand.
and at least for most of them. And so I thought it would be worthwhile to take a look. I'm particularly interested as we look to more further discussion about this at a subsequent meeting to positions that the appointments of which have lapsed. And for example, there's one position just quickly looking over where it lapsed 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And there are others not as long, but of similar and important positions. So it'd be interesting having your thoughts on those when the time comes to
Absolutely.
look at those in a more specific manner.
Understood.
So, but thank you again.
You're welcome.
No, just by, quick count, I believe there's 20 expired that I just looked at. But I'm sure that you're looking at hard to, replace people or reappoint people. So I appreciate this. This is very helpful. And I just want time to look at it further. Thank you.
Absolutely. I can say, I can say some of the individuals we have talked to, they just don't know if they can commit to a full 3-year term. And since after you're appointed, you continue until either replaced or reappointed under the general laws of the Commonwealth. Some of them have said, I think I might be able to do a year, but statute is a 3-year appointment. But we'll get into more detail on that for sure whenever the questions arise.
Yeah, I do believe this is a good evolution of this appointments committee. We've done a lot of catch up these past couple of years, so I think this is a good next step.
I move we place this in the calendar for the next meeting of the appointments committee.
So, second.
Motion made by Councilor Walsh, second by Councilor Mack, to place this item on our next calendar agenda for the appointments committee. Is there discussion? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Motion passes.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second the motion.
Motion made by Councilor Matt, second by Councilor Walsh to adjourn. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. We stand adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Awesome.